Christmas Day, 2025. Across the globe, families gather in warm homes, exchanging gifts and sharing laughter, their hearts filled with hope for the year ahead. For much of the world, it's a day of peace, a moment to pause, reflect, and cherish loved ones. Streets glow with festive lights and the air is filled with the sound of carols and celebration. Yet in Ukraine, the reality is starkly different. War rages on, echoing through the snowy fields and shattered towns, a grim reminder that peace is still out of reach for many. Just yesterday, Ukrainian forces withdrew from Siversk, a small Donetsk town that had become a powerful symbol of resistance and hope for the nation. For months, its defenders held out against relentless attacks, refusing to yield. Its fall is more than a shift on the map, it's a blow to Ukraine's morale and a potential turning point in the battle for the Donbass. The loss reverberates far beyond the front lines, touching every Ukrainian heart. Siversk was a vital part of Ukraine's defensive line, held for years by soldiers who turned it into a fortress. Their courage and determination inspired a nation, even as the odds grew longer. Now, as Russian troops occupy its ruins, the world watches anxiously to see what comes next. The fate of Siversk may shape the future of the entire region. The story of Siversk is a stark reminder. This conflict is far from over. For Ukraine, and for all who value freedom, the struggle continues, even on the most sacred of days. Siversk was a cornerstone of Ukraine's eastern defense, a town whose name became synonymous with resilience and determination. For the soldiers stationed here, every day was a test of endurance and willpower, as they faced the constant threat of attack and the harsh realities of war. Siversk stood as a stronghold protecting the gateway to Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, two cities vital to the control of the Donbass region. Its defense was not just about holding ground, but about safeguarding the hopes of an entire nation. For years, Ukrainian soldiers endured relentless shelling and attacks, transforming the town into a symbol of defiance. The streets echoed with the sounds of artillery, and every shattered building told a story of sacrifice and unwavering resolve. Its geography allowed Ukraine to disrupt Russian supply lines and control key territory, making Siversk a critical point in the broader conflict. The town's defenders used every advantage the landscape offered, turning fields and forests into obstacles for advancing forces. The defense was brutal and costly, exacting a heavy toll on those who fought there. Yet the town's fall was not for lack of courage or effort. It was a testament to the limits of human endurance in the face of overwhelming odds. Ultimately, the years of sacrifice made the decision to withdraw all the more painful. For many, leaving Siversk meant leaving behind not just a strategic position, but memories of comrades and the legacy of their struggle. Siversk became more than a strategic point, it was sanctified by the blood of its defenders. The town's story is now woven into the fabric of Ukraine's fight for survival and independence. Even the strongest fortresses can be worn down in a war of attrition, but the spirit of those who defended Siversk endures, inspiring future generations to stand firm in the face of adversity. Russia's final assault on Siversk was relentless. Waves of troops, constant artillery, and massive aerial bombardments. Ukrainian defenders faced overwhelming odds, with Russia exploiting its numerical and firepower advantage. The meat grinder tactics wore down the defenders, physically and mentally. On December 23rd, Russia launched one of its largest drone and missile attacks, stretching Ukraine's resources thin. The combination of ground assaults and nationwide strikes made Siversk's defense unsustainable. The town fell after a slow, grinding battle, Ukraine's soldiers outnumbered but never outmatched in spirit. On December 24th, Ukraine made the difficult but necessary decision to withdraw its forces from Siversk, a small city that had become a focal point of intense fighting in the region. The announcement marked a turning point in the ongoing conflict, as Ukrainian commanders weighed the risks of staying against the consequences of leaving. This was not a chaotic flight, but a calculated, organized retreat designed to save lives and preserve the core of Ukraine's combat strength for battles yet to come. Soldiers methodically gathered equipment, coordinated their movements, and ensured that as many troops as possible could escape the tightening noose. Encirclement by Russian forces was imminent. Remaining in Siversk would have meant certain annihilation for the defenders. The risk of being surrounded and cut off from supplies or reinforcements was simply too great to ignore. By pulling back in good order, Ukraine managed to save thousands of experienced soldiers, men and women whose skills and courage will be needed in future battles elsewhere along the front. The loss of Siversk is undeniably a setback, a painful blow to morale and strategy, but losing entire brigades to encirclement and destruction would have been catastrophic, weakening Ukraine's ability to resist in the long term. Russian forces quickly moved in to occupy the ruins, raising their flag and claiming victory over the battered city. For them, it was a symbolic gain, but the true cost of the battle was measured in devastation. For the few civilians who remain, life under occupation is grim and filled with uncertainty. Many have lost their homes, their livelihoods, and their sense of safety. There is no power, no running water, and every day brings new challenges. The future for Siversk's residents is shrouded in fear and doubt. While the retreat spared the lives of many Ukrainian soldiers, it marked the beginning of a new ordeal for Siversk's civilians, an ordeal defined by displacement, loss, and the struggle to survive in a shattered community. The human cost of this war is measured not just in territory lost or gained, but in shattered lives, broken families, and towns reduced to ruins. Siversk's story is a stark reminder of the price paid by both soldiers and civilians in this relentless conflict. With Siversk lost, Russia now threatens Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, key Ukrainian strongholds in Donetsk. The fall of Siversk opens new routes for Russian advances, forcing Ukraine to rush new defenses. The next battles will be fought in the fields and villages between these cities, and Ukraine faces pressure on multiple fronts, with Russia controlling nearly a fifth of its territory. International peace talks are stalled, and proposals to cede land have been firmly rejected by President Zelensky. Russia's refusal of a Christmas truce signals its intent to press its advantage. The capture of Siversk may embolden further offensives before any real negotiations can begin. Behind the headlines, the war's true cost is counted in lives lost and families shattered. Recent Russian attacks killed civilians, including a child, and left millions without power as winter deepens. Ukraine's energy grid is battered, plunging cities into darkness and cold. Yet, Ukrainians remain resilient, striking back even as they endure hardship. The loss of Siversk is a blow, but the will to resist endures. This Christmas, air raid sirens replace carols, and hope for peace feels distant. Still, Ukrainians hold on to their land, their freedom, and their future. Their fight is not just for territory, but for survival as a nation.